Hi, good morning. I'm going to give you the feedback for your manuscript in order to have the points of the participation from last Wednesday. In general, your ideas are really interesting and I find them enlightening in regards negative and positive advertising. In general, you don't mention much of your references in the paragraphs. So I will suggest that instead of just having them at the bottom, use them in the part where you use a theory or something like that. First, in the first paragraph of the introduction, this idea, the one of this paragraph, is really hard to understand. So I will suggest if you read it again and try to type it in another way. In this part here is without comma. You can combine these two sentences in order to make the idea stronger. And you use political advertising too many times in the same paragraph. It's 1, 2, 3 times to start the idea. So you can change it to eat or something like that. In here, this idea is really short, so I will use a connector as a suggestion to try to combine these two sentences in one by using a connector instead of a period. Sorry. This idea is interesting, but it's too short to be in the manuscript. But you develop the idea later in the paragraph, so why don't you just use because instead of the period and make it larger. What else? And also you need to combine this idea in order to make it stronger. United States is with capital letters. You use we sometimes in the manuscript, and because it's a formal and objective type of writing, you should use another article in order to be more impersonal. And you don't need to use that before Hillary Clinton. Hillary is in capital letters. This is like nowadays the media is very quick to judge and spin things out of proportion and blow things out of control. I understand what you are trying to say, but this seems more like an opinion rather than a fact. I don't know if you took it from another author or something, but if you did, it will be helpful if you just add the citation here. And this is interesting, but it doesn't have a source. So without a source, it's an opinion, not a fact. Again, in this paragraph, you use we instead of the third person article. What else? In the development, you don't need to add the development subtitle. So you just erase that. Here. You can combine these two sentences because it's better. It can improve the written form. In here, this is an informal thought because instead of saying in a research paper, you can say in the literature or according to research, because you use the author, so it will be more formal. This also, the adjective obsessed without an author, it's more like an opinion. So I will change that. This doesn't have a source, and I don't know if you have one, but I don't think Donald Trump is just going for a target, and you should maybe insert a source here. Also, in this phrase, Hillary Clinton aimed to have the support of women, Afro-Americans, Asians, Latinos, and other ethnicity, but it doesn't mean she had the support, more with the results she had. So maybe you should add here another author. In here, it can be helpful to have a citation in this whole paragraph. What else? Yes, you start 2 sentences with Hillary, so maybe you can combine the 2 of them. Secretary of State is with capital letters. In here, you should add a comma. Through her political campaign, comma, Clinton. A lot is written A and then lot. This is a really good idea, but it's short, so maybe you can complement it with something another author said. This doesn't have a source, so it remains as an informal opinion. This doesn't have a source either, so, and especially when you mention numbers, you should add the source. Crazy, and again, it's an adjective, not objective, so maybe you should rephrase that if you want. Clinton's campaign instead of the Clinton, and president is with capital letter. When you use an example of this, it's a little bit informal, so I will use as a suggestion an example of the latest to refer to the previous idea. And again, in here, because you already have 1 paragraph between the theory and the example. So maybe you can try to change it. Instead of this, something more formal. And that makes clear that you are referring to the previous theory discussed. Also, source, whenever you mention numbers. And one of my past professors told me that when you're writing an essay, everything that is in parentheses should be without it, because it's not formal to use them in an academic document. So maybe you can take that in consideration. And that's it. I really like your paper, and more because you use the both positive and negative advertising. And finally, I suggested bibliography that you can use in order to complement your analysis with academic references. That is Negative Advertising and Political Competition, and it's in digital library in the tech site. Thank you.